Europe's billion-euro gamble. Can tanks and roads fix the economy? Welcome back, dear listeners, to the Maverick Podcast, where we dissect bold moves, daring policies, and the numbers behind them. Today's episode, a tale of tanks, euros, and bold bets from the heart of Europe. Let's dive in. Germany, the land of precision engineering and Oktoberfest, has just thrown down the gauntlet with a colossal spending spree. We're talking about a massive 500 billion euros infrastructure initiative over the next decade. That's right, €500 billion, folks, or roughly 10% of Germany's GDP. But hold on to your lederhosen, because that's not all. Germany's defense spending is set to skyrocket from its current 2.1% to a whopping 3.5% of GDP in just a few years. For context, that's billions extra being pumped into fighter jets, submarines, and yes, probably those ultra-sleek tanks you've seen rolling through military parades. Now let's crunch some numbers. Economists estimate this turbocharged spending could boost German GDP growth by an additional 0.2 to 0.6 percentage points every year. Think of it as injecting a shot of espresso straight into the heart of Europe's largest economy. The peak impact? Probably between 2028 and 2029. But wait, there's a twist! While spending billions sounds impressive, the real kicker is how and where they spend it. Historically, half of Germany's defense equipment comes from the US, but the EU now insists this money stays homegrown. Ursula von der Leyen herself stressed that EU defense loans worth 150 billion euros should finance purchases from European producers. Translation: more jobs, more growth, more euro power. Now, before you rush to buy stocks in European defense giants like Rheinmetall or Saab, remember there are complications. Europe faces major capacity constraints and labor shortages, not to mention inflationary pressures lurking around the corner. It's like inviting too many guests to a dinner party without having enough chairs or food. Here's a fun fact. Germany and the EU are planning to loosen budget restrictions, aka the debt brake, to make all this happen. That's right, rules are being bent, if not broken, to transform Europe's infrastructure and defense landscape. And here's where things get tricky. If the money isn't spent wisely or quickly enough, Europe's bold gamble could lead to overheating inflation without delivering the promised economic magic. But here's the silver lining. If executed right, this spending spree won't just prop up GDP, it might actually make Europe technologically superior and strategically independent. And who knows? Maybe those shiny new European-made tanks could roll out just in time for the next Oktoberfest parade. Will Europe's multi-billion euro gamble pay off, or is this just another economic bubble waiting to burst? Stay tuned and stay maverick. Until next time, keep your numbers sharp and your policies daring.